Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. In today's video I'm going to basically be talking about my near-death experiences and stuff like that. And yes, the white mask is back. I lost it for a bit, but hey, I found it, so the white mask is back. I still have the black one. I don't know. I think it's like somewhere up where I put my masks, but so yeah, let's get into it. So I'm going to start with one of my most notable ones, and it left a scar on my stomach. And so let's begin. So during the time periods of my middle school life, I think it was like 5th or 8th grade. I was pretty young. I don't really recall when, but it also didn't hurt when it happened. So anyway, before school started, me and my mom got into an argument about something. I can't recall what, because we get into a lot of arguments about stuff. Most of them are about me not cooperating, which I do not do, like, at all. I don't cooperate. So we get a lot of arguments about that. But I can't remember what this one was. I think it has something to do with school. Because I remember I was in her office. We had a lot of dog toys lying around. So I stepped back, because I was about to leave, and I stepped back, I was about to turn to leave. But I slipped on one of the dog toys and ended up falling on the floor. Well, my dog thought I was attacking my mother, for some reason, even though I was the one on the floor. So my dog thought I was attacking my mother, which started to spiral out of control. So he starts like biting me, scratching me, doing everything. But the only problem is with how much he did it. It was only like, the only wounds were the scar on my stomach and a little hole in my shoulder. I think it was this one. It had like this little hole, blood-filled hole. Anyway, kind of like scab. Anyway, so my mom was able to get my dog off of me, and she tells me to go into her room. So that's what I do. Well, she closed the wound somehow, like with her hands. She started layering a bunch of these like square bandage stuff that were like white and were supposed to help. I didn't do much of that. And then I was sent to my room, and I basically sat there for about 5 minutes reading Calvin and Hobbes. Fire book choice, by the way. Sat there reading Calvin and Hobbes for about 5 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes. So my wound, like, closed, but not completely closed, and my white shirt that I loved and wore all the time had blood stained on it now. And it's one of those, like, clear, like, kind of mesh ones, I don't know. So, I just know that it felt, like, silky and not, like, rough, sort of. Just felt, like, smooth. Anyway, as I was saying, back to the story. After about like 5 minutes of waiting in my room reading Calvin and Hobbes, again, fire book choice, my mom finally like takes me to an urgent care to get stitches because it was pretty deep. So we go to the urgent care place, and the blood basically dried by then. So he starts like examining it and stuff, just looking at it, asking what we think happened. And we said that her dog scratched. Like we thought it was like a bite, like it just went. But that's not what happened at all, and it actually scratched my stomach. And he started to say that if it wasn't for the little bit of fat I had, because at the time I was super skinny, so if it wasn't for the little bit of fat I had and a protective barrier that apparently is around your stomach, then I would have just, he would have hit a vital organ and I would have been like dead. I would have been dead. Either that or probably would have been rushed to an urgent care faster, but we don't know anything about the anatomy of it, so I was just sent to my room with a gaping hole in my stomach at the time. Anyway, so the person just patches me up and I have to go home because I wasn't allowed back at school, I think, or something like that. Plus, we also had to do some stuff with my sister, like move some stuff or whatever, so I didn't have to. So I didn't have to go back anyway because school would have ended by the time we were done. So now I have a scar there, and it's pretty cool. It's probably like maybe like from here to here, maybe. It's a pretty big scar. That's all I can really say about it. It's just a pretty big scar. And the second time was when I was on a swing set. And this is like the first time I saw like my life just flash before my eyes. It was just straight white. Anyway. I was swinging on a swing set at school. And I was like, dude, I don't even know what. And I was about to jump off and do some cool trick or whatever that I didn't know how to do because my body physically just could not do any tricks at the time. And I was like super young. maybe like 9 or 8, I don't know. It was during the Boys and Girls Club times. So I was about to jump off when my shirt gets caught on the swing. So I end up getting dragged by the swing while it's still going up and down. And then eventually I get it unhooked, but I was still in like midair. So I end up falling into some wood chips and just felt like a bunch of like needles were just went just right on my skin. Some of them were pokey, some of them were, so I got like a few splinters here and there. And I just like blacked out. Just blacked out. That's when I heard my a bell ring, and then that's when I realized, when I just like came back from the dead or whatever, that's when I realized I couldn't move for a good solid minute or something. I don't know if it had to do with like the adrenaline or whatever, but I just like, couldn't move. But after like 5 to 10 minutes of just about like 5 to 3 minutes, 3 to 5 minutes of just like lying on the ground, I was eventually able to just like, I don't know, something just kicked in my brain. I was able to just like push back up, and I was on my feet again, just walking inside, not really feeling any of the pain, but I was limping. So yeah, that was interesting. I had another time in the pool where I just like nearly drowned. It was in the shallow end. Me and my brother were playing around. We were triple dog daring each other. Well, it got to the point where we started triple dog daring each other to let the other one drown us. He was the first one to go, aka he was the first one to try to drown me. So while I was walking in the pool, and it was the least when I expected, he just starts like shoving me into the water. And I just started like drowning. I just started gasping for air. And I was calling for my mom, who was inside at the time. And she wasn't like, she trusted us. And she was inside at the time. And I started calling for my mom, but she can't hear me. I think she was on a call as well. So I was just like drowning, just calling for help. And then she comes outside after hearing me, and is just like basically just tries to pry my brother from me while I'm just like just drowning. So that was scary. Another time, I think that's it. That's like one of the like main 3 experiences that I have and can recall at the time of the incidents. So maybe you guys know if you want a part 2. Like a part 2 would be fun. It'd be super fun, and I'll see if I have any other experiences in mind. Thank you all so much for watching Masked Kitsune. I would love to maybe hear some of your stories if you can. This is definitely different from my shorts, by the way. Anyway, so thank you all so much for coming into Masked Kitsune, and we've hit like, I think it's 25 subscribers at the moment, because it like doubled since my last short of reaching 10 subscribers. So I just wish to thank you all for getting me to this major milestone in life, and I am so glad to be here doing this YouTube stuff, even though I'm like 15. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching, clicking on this video, liking if you did, disliking if you didn't like it, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye!